First of all, I am June Scobee Rodgers. I was a ragged teenager that lived in places all over our country because my father was an itinerant carpenter. So we moved wherever Dad could get a job. Eventually, when I was 16 years old, we were settled down in San Antonio, Texas. I graduated from high school, and I met a cute little airman who wanted to be a pilot. And he eventually asked me to marry him out under the stars one night, as he couldn't believe I understood about, had any concept about the stars and space and airplanes. And we just hit it off as the best friends in the world. We married, and my life changed dramatically after that. We sent each other through college. We had 2 wonderful children and great 26 years of marriage. He was not only my best friend and husband and sweetheart, but he was everything in the world to me. And we helped each other fulfill the dreams. He wanted to fly, I wanted to teach and fly on the side. So we worked. He was my best guest speaker for our presentations. When Kristen McAuliffe came on board as one of his astronauts to fly on 51L, I became the educator to help him. So we traded off all those wonderful years of marriage. Who else is June Scobee Rodgers? I've taught every grade level, kindergarten through the university. I helped to create the space science program for Texas A&M University. I taught graduate level, University of Houston, and worked with federal and local government on all kinds of programs, and have met some of the most marvelous people in the whole world in all of that opportunity. That handsome, blushing airman was Dick Scobee, Francis R. Scobee, who, when we met, had 1 stripe. By the time we married, he had 2, and when we had our first child, he had 3, and when he went off to college, he had 4. And eventually, he became an officer, and his dream to be a pilot, and test pilot, and astronaut. Dick Scobee was so proud of me that when I graduated with my PhD, he came home from the graduation ceremony and wrote on our mailbox, Mr. and Dr. Scobee. he was terrific, and encouraged me in every direction. We encouraged each other many, many times. We were married for 26 years. Together, we were at the very first launch of Shuttle. I had been married to this test pilot who flew the X-24, the prototype for the Shuttle, and then he was selected as an astronaut. We were there to watch the first launch with John Young and Bob Crippen, and our young, strapping teenager was there tossing a Frisbee. And then we all grew up along with the Shuttle program. And the last launch, by that time, that son who was throwing the Frisbee became an F-16 pilot, and he's now a general. And he was the NORAD commander for the last flight of the Shuttle. Tells you how old I am, that long span of time with him. So, yes, that was Dick Scobee. May I tell about his first mission in space? He flew, he worked all the NASA, all the shuttle programs. First mission, 41C, was the Solar Max repair. And lots of interest because of the rendezvous with a satellite, the repair of a satellite, wonderful crew. They were successful thanks to Goddard Space Center and other people who made it all happen. It's a major team effort. When he returned from space to Earth, there was marvelous group of reporters and neighbors who all wanted to see him. And he said, "No, we grew up together with this dream. I'm telling you first what it was like to fly." So we slipped out the back door and went to our favorite restaurant. And as he talked with glowing pride of what his mission was all about, kept slipping his napkin under his dinner plate. And I said, "Well, you know, what is that about?" And he said, "I was afraid it would float away. I forgot I'm on Earth." It was just a few hours after being in space. And he took out a camera to take our picture and dropped it, just like he was moving the IMAX cameras around in space, you know. And so we embarrassed that staff that was working at the restaurant. But I asked him if he wasn't mad that the president forgot to mention his name back with President Reagan. He said, "No, what was important was the mission. It was such a great, successful mission," and it was. 41C was one of the greatest examples of the team effort of all of the space centers and effort with manned maneuvering units, rendezvous, the orbiting positions. Great, it was a great flight. And that set the stage for his, in just a couple of years, as the commander of Flight 51L.